You're listening to the Doctor Is In podcast, brought to you by MartinClinic.com. During the episode, the doctors share a lot of information. As awesome as the info may be, it is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. It's strictly for informational purposes.
Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're talking about insulin resistance, okay? High circulating insulin. And you know me, I've been saying this for a long time. The Martin Clinic, we call it high circulating insulin or insulin resistance, okay? And I've tried over the last few episodes to tell you about the some of the symptoms, to check the engine light to see if you have insulin resistance, because a lot of people don't know they have that. And insulin resistant, let me just give you a couple of things about insulin, okay? We know it's the traffic cop, okay? Because its job is, one of its jobs is to take the energy that you make from food and store it inside the cells. And the biggest thing that it does is it takes sugar, because your body tightly regulates sugar. It can't stay in your bloodstream. It's parked in the wrong spot, okay? It's in a disabled spot without a disabled tag. So what the parking cop does, insulin, it takes it out of there. It says, no, you can't stay in the bloodstream. You're going to damage blood vessels, especially at first the capillaries. Capillaries, guys, if you look into your eyes, okay? If you had an instrument like in the doctor's office to look into the eyes, well, you know what you see in behind your eye? The 401, 407, 416, all highways. Okay? If you live around Toronto, you know what exactly I'm talking about. Okay? The 401, the busiest highway in North America, I think. Okay? If you're in Florida, 95. Okay? Because we travel that one quite a bit. That's what's behind your eyes, guys. Capillaries. And capillaries get damaged very quickly by sugar staying in your bloodstream. And that's why it's so stinking dangerous. That's why diabetics have trouble with their eyes very quickly. They get cataracts. They get glaucoma. They get diabetic retinopathy very quickly. And if you have damage in your eyeballs, guys, at all, you have those floaters or whatever, most of the time, it's because you have elevated insulin. The traffic cop isn't working the way it should, and it's not parking that sugar the way it should outside of your bloodstream, because sugar is so toxic. Guys, listen to me. Sugar is worse than smoking. It's worse than smoking. Now, everybody on the planet knows smoking's not good for you, right? But most people don't realize how much sugar they consume in a day. And they don't differentiate between sugars and carbs, because carbs are going to be sugars in 5 seconds. Oh, Dr. Martin, I don't have sugar. Yeah? How many carbs are you eating? Yeah, but it's good bread. I don't care. It's going to be sugar in 5 seconds. It's a whole wheat bagel. It's sugar on steroids. That's why we live in a different world today, because we're carboholics. And this is what sugar does to your bloodstream. And the first place it attacks is your capillaries. And remember I said yesterday, even for men, erectile dysfunction? Guys, that's capillaries. That's what makes you float. Capillaries. And when they get damaged, you get symptoms. Don't wait till you get symptoms. Fix the problem. Change your diet. That's what you need to do. Okay? So, let's go over some more symptoms, okay, this morning. And by the way, insulin is a jail guard, okay? It's a jail guard. If insulin is present in your bloodstream, it's impossible to lose weight. It's impossible. So when you eat more frequently, remember, insulin is a food hormone. You only secrete insulin when you eat. But after you stopped eating, okay, you stopped, let's say you had breakfast this morning, okay? Well, doc, I haven't eaten. Yeah, but insulin hasn't finished working. So if you ate at 8 o'clock this morning, at 10 o'clock, insulin is still working. It's taking the sugar out and it's directing the traffic. Its job is not done. This is why one of the things that we like is intermittent fasting. Because when you're not eating for a period of time, you're lowering your insulin. And don't, guys, listen, this is one of the worst things in medicine, in my opinion. One of the worst traps in medicine is people are relying on their blood sugar levels. Oh, doc, I'm not a diabetic. My blood sugar is normal. The last thing to happen, the last thing, not the first thing, the last thing that will happen in your body is blood sugar. You see, because your body is so fearfully and wonderfully made, insulin will keep your blood sugar within this range until it can't. And people say, well, I'm not a diabetic. Yes, you are. Because if you got high insulin, don't wait till a doctor tells you, oh, you're a diabetic. By then, you're on medication or whatever. Listen, guys, diabetes is food. It's not medicine. It's not medicine. Medicine was never created to fix diabetes. It was created to manage diabetes. Meaning that if you're a diabetic, you're always a diabetic. That's not true. You've heard of my cat story, right? I know you have, but I'll tell it to you again. This is a true story, by the way. Years ago now, I can't even remember how many years ago. A lady came into my office, I'm not kidding you, true story. And I thought she had a cold or I wasn't sure, but I had my back to her and I just heard her sneezing and coughing and barking and I turned around and said, man, you got a cold? And she said, no, I got allergies. And I said, oh yeah? What are you allergic to? Oh, she said, that's why I'm here, doc. I said, well, do you know what you're allergic to? She said, oh yeah, my cat. I said, well, get rid of your cat. She said, doc, I can't get rid of my cat. I love my cat. I said, well, then I can't help you. If you can't get rid of your cat, how can I help you? If you're a diabetic or a pre-diabetic, it's carbs. Read your labels. You're allergic to them. I don't know how to put it any other way, any simpler way than that. The cat story. You're allergic to carbs. Just don't have any, and you won't be diabetic anymore. Is it too late? It's never too late. It's never too late. I had a lady call me. True story. Her sugars were at 25. I mean, you're going to be dead in a week. You're going to stroke out. You see, remember what sugar does in the bloodstream? It'll damage blood vessels. I said, you're going to have a heart attack or stroke. By the way, diabetics are twice as likely, or a pre-diabetic, they are twice as likely to have a heart attack or stroke. Why is that? Because of sugar. It damages your blood vessels. Guys, you know what happens to diabetics? They get atherosclerosis. It's not cholesterol. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's cholesterol. No, it's not. It's inflammation due to sugar. It's worse than smoking. You enjoy the cat story? I probably told that story 10,000 times. Because whenever I get in the office I ever had a diabetic patient in or pre-diabetic, I said, I'm going to tell you the cat story. And then I often tell patients, okay? I said, what are you, a lawyer? Why? They're negotiating. Who are you, Donald Trump, a negotiator? Quit negotiating. Don't negotiate with yourself. Don't justify your eating, okay? A lot of people do that. Dr. Martin, how can you live without carbs? Very easily. Eskimos don't eat carbs. They eat fat and blubber all day long. I have such a love for the First Nations, and the indigenous people here. I've done so many seminars, with them and that. Anyways, they invite me back because they think I'm crazy. But I said, listen, here's to the indigenous people. I said, hey, number one, here's what the white man did to you, okay? We took your land, one, and two, we're killing you. You know why? With our food. Quit, as long as you eat white man's food, carbs, it'll kill you. Because what is it? 80% of the indigenous people are diabetic or pre? 80% for them. They can't have carbs. They don't do well with carbohydrates. They just don't. They don't have the genetics to even eat carbs. They need to go back to the way they used to live and eat off the land. Eggs, meat, and cheese. That's when they do really well. It's amazing. So anyways, guys, okay? I just know, look, there's a lot of tribes around the world, guys. They eat what they can grow. So I'm not against the plant kingdom, but they're not full of carbs. They got carbs, but not much. And they live off meat, and they live off eggs. And if they got goats or whatever, they live off their cheese and stuff that is all natural, okay? So think about it. Think about it. This is why we speak so often about carbohydrates. And we live in a different world, guys. So this is why it's even more important today. Because this is, if you look at all of the problems, even COVID, the pre-existing conditions are people that have trouble with their insulin. It's at the root of it. 88% of the population in North America have trouble with insulin. 88%. Don't wait till you're a diabetic, guys. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, so you guys are taking this information and you change your life with it, okay? You change your life. It's not genetics. It's like the indigenous people, the First Nations. It's not genetics. The genetics give them the weakness. Yes, 100%. You go to India, you go to Egypt, and they have like gazillions. No, it's 50 or 60% of their population are diabetic. It's unbelievable. But that's their weakness. But if you change your diet, you fix the problem. But I got diabetes written right across my forehead. My dad was a diabetic. My sister's a diabetic. My grandfather was a diabetic. It's written right across here. And like I've told you guys in the past, you see this face? You want to know what my dad looked like? You're seeing him. My wife says, I married my father-in-law. I look like my dad. It's unbelievable. I never thought so until I look at pictures. My dad's come back from the dead. I look like him. He called me Tony Jr. for a reason. But guys, all I'm saying to you is this is science. It seems too simplistic. I tell some of my doctor friends this. For heaven's sakes, why are you giving them medication? Send them to me. I'll tell them the cat story. If you are a pre-diabetic, you're on the Titanic, okay? So let me just give you a couple of more symptoms so that I don't continue past today. So guys, listen, let's go over some of the symptoms. If you have high blood pressure, if you got obesity anywhere, okay? You got fat hanging around, especially your belly, you got a roll, you got trouble with insulin. Because insulin is a fat storing hormone. So don't fool yourself. And you might be skinny and have lots of trouble with insulin. You can't see the fat that's around your organs, okay? We talked about it, high triglycerides. That's what's dangerous, triglycerides. Damages your blood vessels because it creates an enormous amount of inflammation inside the blood vessels. And triglycerides are three fats are directly proportional to the amount of crappy carbohydrates you eat. Don't fool yourself. Low cholesterol, low HDL. Low HDL, it'll kill you. Those are the FedEx trucks on the highways of your blood vessels getting the bad fats out of your blood. The only bad fat is triglycerides. Okay? Again, don't get me going on cholesterol. Enlarged prostate, men. Okay? Migraines, tinnitus, bzzz, buzzing in the ear, skin tags, insulin, PCOS, polycystic ovarian disorder, endometriosis. Your insulin's high. Now there's too much estrogen too, but they work together. Joint pain, fibromyalgia, insulin. It elevates your triglycerides. It elevates your inflammation. Your pain will be exacerbated. And you can have unexplained pain. That's what fibromyalgia is. It's insulin. It's inflammation. Tired after eating. Gout. You got gout? You got trouble with insulin. Oh, Dr. Martin, I thought gout came from eating steak. No, it comes from eating sugar. Yes, it's insulin. These are your check engine lights, guys. Okay? Anything else? Always feeling hungry. Oh, here's one yesterday. We talked about this yesterday, and boy, did I ever get a lot of feedback on this, which I really appreciate. Acid reflux. Oh, doc, your body is saying, hello, hey, you there. Your body's going, hey, you there. You're not listening to me. Quit eating carbohydrates. And can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you whether you say yes or no. I don't know why I'm asking. You know why we see so many gallbladder problems today? Like you know what's an epidemic? You know what's an epidemic? Is gallbladder. And you know what? About 90% of them are women. You know why? They don't eat enough fat. This fat-free diet craze that came around, it started in the 1970s. You know what the fat-free diet did? Oh, Dr. Martin, I'm eating fat-free yogurt. Well, that's stupid. Why are you eating fat-free yogurt? Well, I got fat-free this and fat-free that and fat-free milk and fat-free everything. And I don't ever eat meat like you ladies. I know you ladies. What kind of meat do you like? Chicken? The problem is your gallbladder was made. God gave you a gallbladder. Do you ever think about that? What's its job? To release bile. What's bile do? It emulsifies fat. You need fat. If someone calls you fathead, take it as a compliment. You need fat. Don't cut the fat away from your meat. This is why I love steak so much. And I always look for cuts that got lots of fat on it. And I eat the fat. Yep. I'm serious. You ladies, I'm talking to you ladies, right? Chicken and salad, salad and chicken, chicken and salad. You love your salad. You're not a rabbit. Cows eat salad, all glorified salad, which is grass. Grass is just glorified salad, okay? So cows eat it all day long. You watch a cow? They're get their head down and they're but they got 4 stomachs. You don't. You got 1, ladies. And I know it's been drilled into your head. And then, how many women lose their gallbladder because it's all full of stones? It's because it was never used. Gallbladders are meant to be used. When you eat fat, your gallbladder is a little reservoir, okay? It has bile in it. You know what it does? It empties. It pours the bile into the gut. And that's really good for you because it emulsifies the fat so that you can absorb it because it helps you make cholesterol. You need it. And it picks up your fat-soluble vitamins. You need it. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K. They're fat-soluble. They need fat to be absorbed. And we had this whole thinking. Don't eat fat. And even, I read an article yesterday. And you want to see my blood pressure go? There's times you can get elevated blood pressure without having insulin. And that is when you're uptight, like me. I read and, it drives me mental. One of the problems with atherosclerosis is fat in the diet. I'm telling you, my heart rate goes up, my blood pressure goes up, my pulse rate goes up, my cortisol goes up, and I start losing hairs on the top of my head. And the ones that weren't gray turn gray. You guys know me, I think, enough. I just get crazy when I see stupidity. I can't help myself. When I see stupidity, I call it out. I mean, these are people that don't know nada about nutrition and the science of food. Nothing. And they're stuck in the 70s, like Elvis Presley, right? If you see somebody at the mall that still looks like Elvis, with the bell bottoms and the long sideburns, I've seen a few like that. I mean it. And I said, man, Elvis died in 1976. He's dead. Let it go. Guys, anyway, I love you guys. You put up with me. It's amazing that you do. Okay, so now, did you see the email that we sent out about if you're not getting our emails, make sure you sign up for our emails. I think you do that, Brandy would agree, by getting onto our website, martinclinic.com. Okay, I think you guys already know that, but I'm not sure. I'm so ancient, I don't know. I had to ask Brandy yesterday. I was looking for something on the website, and I just can't handle a computer very well. I'm sorry. Okay, I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Share this with your friends, right? This is life-saving information. Send that to your friends on Facebook, okay? I love you guys.
You've reached the end of another Doctor is In podcast with your hosts, Dr. Martin Jr. and Sr. Be sure to catch our next episode, and thanks for listening.